They say the art of war is a military manual, but that's a lie polite society tells itself. In reality, it's a manual for predators. A coded document written for those who build empires, not those who merely work inside them. So today, we're not reading Sun Tzu. We're decoding him and applying his forbidden laws to the battlefield of modern business, where the wars never stop and the weak never escape. This is the art of war for the builders of modern power. Founders, strategists, operators, and future empire owners. Let's begin. Sun Tzu claimed the highest victory is the one won without fighting. In business, this means the most powerful companies don't compete. They make competition irrelevant. They choose markets competitors can't enter. They exploit leverage competitors don't see. They set terms rivals can't refuse. The modern battlefield isn't about crushing opponents. It's about structuring the game so that only you can win. Ask yourself, are you fighting, or are you designing a world where others can't even start the fight? Ancient generals studied mountains, rivers, and choke points. Modern strategists study markets, regulations, and psychological patterns. The terrain now is digital, financial, algorithmic. The rivers are cash flows. The mountains are monopolies. The choke points are distribution channels no one else controls. Most entrepreneurs study products. Empires study terrain. Because when you know the terrain better than anyone else, the victory is arranged before the battle begins. Know yourself, know your enemy. This chapter has been quoted to death, yet almost no one actually understands it. To know yourself is not to be confident. It is to audit your true strengths and true weaknesses with ruthless clarity. Not the strengths you advertise, the strengths that make you dangerous. And knowing the enemy today is not about spying on competitors. It means understanding the psychology of the market, the fears, desires, and illusions that drive human behavior. Because in modern business, the enemy is rarely a rival company. The enemy is misjudgment, your own or the market's. If you know both, the world becomes predictable. Sun Tzu taught that amateurs enter battle to win. Masters structure reality, so they've already won before the first move. In business, this looks like securing distribution before creating the product, building an audience before building the brand, owning attention before selling anything, creating switching costs competitors can't overcome, locking up supply channels while others argue about price. If you enter the battlefield hoping to win, you've already lost. Real power is built in silence, long before the launch. One of Sun Tzu's most misunderstood commands: appear weak when you are strong. In the modern arena, it means stay quiet while you accumulate leverage. Move slowly while you gain data. Seem harmless while you position yourself to dominate. The most dangerous companies do not announce their ambitions. They enter unnoticed, and by the time the world sees them, they're too large to stop. Strength is not what you show. Strength is what you hide until the moment you choose to strike. Speed is the essence. Not speed of product, not speed of marketing, not speed of growth. The real speed Sun Tzu spoke of is decision speed. The ability to act faster than your environment changes. In ancient war, this meant outmaneuvering an opponent before he understood what was happening. In business, it means adapting faster than the market shifts and faster than your competitors can think. Speed is the only advantage that compounds, because speed creates momentum, and momentum creates inevitability. Sun Tzu separated warfare into two worlds, the orthodox and the unorthodox. The orthodox is what everyone does. The unorthodox is what no one expects. Modern translation: the orthodox is the product. The unorthodox is the business model that makes it unstoppable. The orthodox is the ad campaign. The unorthodox is the distribution hack that skips competition. The orthodox is building a better tool. The unorthodox is building a network effects engine no competitor can copy. The world remembers innovators, but it fears the unorthodox strategist. Sun Tzu warned against relying on strength alone, because strength can be matched. What cannot be matched is position. If your company holds a position competitors cannot afford to reach, cost structure, attention, partnerships, data, community, then the battle becomes pointless. Winning is not about fighting harder. It is about occupying a position where your opponent can't fight at all. Position is silent power, the kind the world doesn't see until it's too late. Armies fall not because of casualties, but because morale collapses. Companies are no different. Sun Tzu understood that belief is a weapon. A team that believes they're building something inevitable becomes unstoppable. A team that doubts collapses even with resources. Modern morale is built on clear mission, shared stakes, visible progress, a leader who absorbs fear, a system that rewards initiative. When morale is strong, the company grows like an organism. When morale is weak, it dies like one. Sun Tzu taught that the fastest victories come from capturing what the enemy values most. In business, this is not the product. It's never the product. It's attention. It's distribution. It's customer trust. It's switching costs. It's data systems. It's proprietary access. Capture the asset that makes the rest irrelevant. And the war ends before it starts. The world Sun Tzu lived and changed slowly. The world you live in shifts by the hour. Today, adaptation is not a skill. It is an identity. Rigid companies break. Flexible companies bend the world around them. If you're willing to restructure, reinvent, rewrite, relearn, you become like water, shaping itself to the container. In an age where the environment evolves constantly, adaptability becomes a form of power almost indistinguishable from genius. Sun Tzu advised destroying the bridges behind your army to eliminate retreat. He wasn't speaking about bravery. He was speaking about designing inevitability. In modern business, burning the boats means committing to a strategy that forces innovation, closing backup options that dilute focus, taking ownership of outcomes, accepting pressure as fuel, creating conditions where success is not preferred, it's required. When retreat becomes impossible, creativity awakens, and pressure becomes the architect of breakthroughs. The final chapter of The Art of War is the one most people skip, but it is the one that reveals the true nature of strategy. Sun Tzu says, information is the most valuable currency in war. And in business, information is the invisible empire. Data is the modern spy. Feedback loops are spies. User behavior is a spy network revealing intentions competitors will never see. The companies that win today aren't the ones with the best ideas. They're the ones with the deepest intelligence. Because when you know the truth of the battlefield, you control the outcome. Here is the forbidden truth. Sun Tzu did not write a book on war. He wrote a book on power, disguised as war so only the worthy would study it. And its message for the modern age is simple. The battlefield has changed. Human nature has not. And the empire goes to the strategist who masters both. You're not here to compete. You're here to engineer inevitability. This is the art of war, upgraded for the empire you're building next.